On this video, I'm going to let you follow along how I changed the main control board for this Samsung. Here's the inside sticker for the refrigerator, and as you can confirm, this is an RF25 HMED BSR/AA refrigerator. However, the steps that I'm going to be using, you can use this for mostly any refrigerator. What you're going to need to install this control board, you're going to need a grounding strap, a screwdriver, and some type of flashlight. And you can choose the type that you have available. It's recommended that you shut off the power of the refrigerator, and you can do that either by pulling the plug on the refrigerator or by pulling the circuit breaker. In my case, I'm going to pull the circuit breaker. And there it is. We're definitely off. Now let's confirm that this refrigerator is off. Hopefully we won't get the LEDs on the light, and you can see we did not get the LED lighting. So we've confirmed this refrigerator is off. The reason why I decided to just cut the circuit breaker is that I'm going to use the ground on the refrigerator, the earth ground on the refrigerator, to prevent any static electricity from hitting this control board while I'm changing it. This is the back panel of the refrigerator that we're going to remove so that we can get access to the main control board. And there are basically just 4 screws here. 1, 2, and if I could move down below, see if you can see that, 3, 4. Remove those screws and the cover will come off. Okay, I've removed the bottom 2 screws. Now I'm going to remove the top 2 screws, and really all you really need is a Phillips screwdriver, as you can see here, and it turns out there. My other recommendation is note which screws are what. I found that the bottom ones were a little different on size than the top, so you may want to put these screws in order so that you can put them back. What I did is I color-coded mine, so I put blue marker on them so I know which is the ones on the top. Screws are off. I'm going to bring the cover from the top towards me and then lift straight up. And there we go. There's the back panel of this refrigerator. And what you're looking at is the main control board, the one that I'm going to replace. And what is recommended is that you take a picture. In my case, I'm going to have this video of the connectors and how they're lined up so that you can remember how these connectors were in place in this board. There's the main control board, and now we're going to need to replace it. The first step I'm going to do is just remove the connectors one by one and kind of make a note of where they are so I can put back the new board in the same place. I have a ground strap on. I found a good ground point here, and I have my strap there so I'm nice and grounded. Hopefully I'm not going to hit the board with any type of static electricity. Alright, let's look at these connectors a little closer and see how we can tell how they're oriented. As you can see, this pinkish bar is at the bottom of this board, and so are these guys, so we have to remember that orientation. And the way to remove these connectors is just to clip on. There's a little clip, as you can see behind here. And just squeeze down on it and lift it out. Okay, so we got one out, and I'm just going to see if I can keep it in order. And let's go for this one. Let's see if I can get behind there. Alright, so it seems to be wanting to come out. I may have to put this camera down so I can squeeze that connector a little better. Yep, in fact, that's what I'm going to have to do. So let me pause it. Okay, I've got the bottom connectors from the circuit board disconnected. It was a tough squeeze. I had to use both hands, one on each side, squeeze down on the connector, and at the same time using another finger holding the circuit board down so the circuit board wouldn't snap out. So it's a tough little call to get these connectors out, so don't be surprised if you struggle with it a little bit, but be patient. And like I said, use both hands and use your thumbs on each side and squeeze on this connector here. Just squeeze on it on both sides and it does come off. I now have the side connectors all disconnected, and I just wanted to note there's a small little capacitor right here on this small little connector here. Be very careful with it when you're pulling out the connector. And again, use both hands, and I found that if you wiggle up and down slightly while you're holding that clip down, it could make it a little bit easier to get off. All right, now for the top, and we should be pretty close to getting this board out. I now have the top connectors removed off the circuit board, and what's left now is the single connector in the middle, and that should be, hopefully, there we go, that's out. Now to get the board out, and I believe there's just a clip down the bottom here that you press down and the board should come out. I'm going to pause this, and if my instructions are any different than what I just said, I will alert you, but I'm pretty sure that's all you need to get the board out. I don't see anything else holding the board. Okay, yes, that was all that was holding the board, and I'm now going to remove it carefully. There we go. Grabbing it from the connectors here and just moving it out gently. And there it is, the board is out. And I'm now going to pause and get the new board. All right, and here's the old board removed. And here's the new board. And it looks identical, so I think I've ordered the right part and ready to stick that board in. Okay, I'm going to stick this board in. Trying to see if I can do this with one hand just to show you. Around that connector. And make sure it's all in there. It looks like it's okay. I'm just going to check, make sure I didn't pinch any wires. It looks good. I have a connector down the bottom here that looks like it may have been pinched. So I got that out of the way. Good. I'm just going to push in on the board. Snap. It's in. All right. And now comes hopefully the easier part of putting the connectors back. And I'm going to put them in the same order I took them out. I'm going to start from the middle connector, top, side, and bottom. All right, the middle connector is in, and again, I'm just gonna pull this so you can see it. I'm not gonna pull it out, but as you can see, you just push in, and they go right in, and you'll hear a little snap when the little latch there has made contact with the opposite side on the connector. All right, now let's go for the top. I have the top connectors on, and I made sure that they were in, and you do hear a snap once you got them all the way in and seated properly. All right, so everything here looks good. Let's move to the side and get those connectors in. And let's see if I can demonstrate one of them for you. Let's go with the top one here. Make sure we got it on the right slot. Push in. There we go. Heard the snap. It's in. So there you go. This one is in. This top one is in. Sorry I didn't get to show it to you, but it's in. Okay. The side connectors are in. And in my case, there was no connector on the blue. I confirmed that. And I'm going to look at my video again just to confirm it. And all the connectors are in. Alright, so now let's start here. And it's probably best to start with this guy, and I'm just going to line it up first. Maybe you can see how I'm doing this. I'm going to line up the connector first and make sure I have it properly lined up before I push on it. Let's see, it looks like it's properly lined up. No, it's not. So I'm going to, here we go. A little tricky. That one looks like it's lined up properly. And then what I'm going to do is just push in until I hear a clip. All right, let's see if I can do that while I'm filming. Ah, there it is. Heard the click. It's in. All right, next. It's this connector here. Again, make sure it's lined up. Let me just double check. Yes, it is. And then I'm going to just push in on this connector. And I hear the snap. Good. Same thing here. I'm going to just look to make sure that everything is lined up properly before I push in on this. A little tricky. There we go. I think we are all lined up. Okay, and I'm just going to push down on it until it clicks. There we go. I heard the click. It's in. Now let's confirm that all these connectors are in properly. Okay, everything looks good. I'm going to put this down and confirm it again that everything is clicked in properly. All right, I triple checked it. Everything looks good. Now there is cable holders here, so you want to put that in there. All right, and it looks like there is also one down here in the bottom. So you want to do that also. That's in place. That's basically you don't crush the wire when you putting the cover back on. I guess that's why they have that. All right, everything looks good. All right, I'm going to disconnect the ground. Here, my ground strap is disconnected. And I'm ready to put the cover back on. Screws are in. Everything looks good. I'm ready to turn on this refrigerator. So let's go to the fuse panel and throw the circuit breaker back on. Okay, it didn't pop back. Good sign. Okay, I have an LED on, so that's good. Let's hit the refrig button. Let's see if we get a temperature. Yes, we got a temperature. All right, so it looks like the circuit board installation was good. And in a bit, I'll get to see if it solved the problem. In my case, was that the freezer compartment of this refrigerator wasn't working properly. It was cooling, but it wasn't freezing any of my food. The top refrigerator unit is working fine. And one thing I can tell you is that this refrigerator has a 1-year warranty on parts and labor, but it has a 5-year warranty for parts and labor on the seal refrigeration unit. And what that means is that if there's a leak, a refrigerant leak on this refrigerator, and your refrigerator is less than 5 years old, it should be covered. And that's what I'm going to hope for if this remedy doesn't fix my problem. Okay, let's see if we can do a diagnostic test on this refrigerator. And the way it's done on this Samsung is to hold the freezer and the fridge button for at least 3 seconds. The lights will flash, I believe, and then just keep holding it, and then it'll go into diagnostic mode, and if it sees a code, you'll see it. All right, as you can see, there were no codes display, and in a few seconds the light will come back on. But as you can see, there's no code, so the installation of the main circuit board was successful. That's it.